What's happening, Hot Wheelers? Joe Motor here. I bet most of you are fans of the television show Street Outlaws, and I certainly have been. I used to watch it religiously. I don't watch it as much anymore, but still certainly a fan of the show. And a few years ago, a lot of us were talking on YouTube and in the forums and stuff about how it would be very cool if somebody would release some 1/64 scale diecast of some of the cars that were on the television show Street Outlaws. Well, fall of 2015, some of our prayers were answered when this came out, and this is the OKC farm truck. If you're familiar with the show, you know these guys down in Oklahoma City, better known as the 405 street race. They're different vehicles. They have a list that you can get on, and you can work your way up to the top of the list to be the fastest car in the 405. And so it's a really kind of a fun show to watch. But this piece in particular is super cool because it's the farm truck, which if you're familiar with it, I actually did a video on this piece, so I'll try to put it in the description below. But this is a sleeper truck. As you can see on the license plate here, it has the Z's to let you know that it looks like it's not much. But if you are to bet any money and drag race this truck, you would probably lose. But this piece right here was fantastic, and we were so excited to see this come out back in 2015. The good news is that there are 3 new models, as you can see back here, that are in relationship to Street Outlaws. We have the Dung Beetle, which was released by the farm truck guys, the Chief's Crow, or better known as the GTO, and Sean Ellington's Murder Nova. And what's interesting is that everything's done by Greenlight except for Sean Ellington's Murder Nova. It's done by Johnny Lightning. So the thing to keep in mind here is that Street Outlaws still hasn't released, and no one has been able to release an official Street Outlaws series. And I think that has to do with licensing and copyright and all that stuff. I imagine that Discovery Channel and the name Street Outlaws is copyrighted by them, and they probably want some handsome royalty fees to use on these packages. But I don't understand why it hasn't worked out, because we've seen stuff from Fast and Furious, which has been a very successful diecast franchise, and we've also seen it with Gas Monkey, which is a sort of garage-based television show. The guys down in Dallas who have several cars, and that series is produced by Greenlight as well, and that's a television show as well. So it's a little bit confusing as to why Street Outlaws has not been able to do an official series. So what I'm getting at is that the farm truck was commissioned by the AZN farm truck guys. They went to approach Greenlight, or maybe Greenlight approached them. I'm not really sure on the details of the story. But basically they commissioned this certain number of models to be made, and you can purchase these off their website. You can also find this on eBay now, but I think you can still find them on their website if you're interested in purchasing one of these. But what was great is that this is a Greenlight casting. It's based off their Chevy C10 casting, and then they just added some fantastic details to it. But again, I did a video on this piece, and I'll post the link below if you're interested in seeing more details on the farm truck. But we're going to take a look at these other 3 models, including the Dung Beetle, which is also released by the AZN farm truck guys. If you're familiar, AZN used to race lawnmowers, and he's farm truck's partner, and finally got his own drag racing car to his own name. It's the Dung Beetle here. It looks like an old beat-up classic Volkswagen Beetle, but as similar to the farm truck, it will go pretty fast. The television show Street Outlaws is not mentioned anywhere on this packaging, so I'm going to show you the packages. But one little detail I wanted to show you is that there is another piece available on the AZN farm truck website, and it is the Fireball Camaro. And if you look at the packaging on the Fireball Camaro, it actually does mention the show Street Outlaws on the back of the package. So I'm curious as to why the Fireball Camaro mentions Street Outlaws, but none of these other models do. I didn't pick up the Fireball Camaro. It's not really my style of car, but they do also have that one available on the AZN Farm Truck website. So if we look at the back of the package here, you'll see some pictures and a little write-up about the vehicle. It is an official licensed Volkswagen product made by Greenlight, totally legit. And then if you can see the OKCFarmTruck.com website, little plug for those guys, If you want to go purchase your own, you can go to that website and purchase directly from them. They are a little bit more expensive. I think these were around $20 to purchase these. But again, they're not mass produced by Greenlight. They're not released in stores, so they can't sell them for $7 or $8 like you would normally find these in Toys R Us or Walmart or wherever. Let me show you the package of the Crow, the Chiefs GTO. Really cool packaging here from Greenlight. And if you'll notice up here, the Midwest Streetcars Automotive logo, which is the company that Justin Shearer and Sean Ellington own together in Oklahoma. It's their sort of garage. And so these two releases, the GTO and the Murder Nova, both have the Midwest Streetcars Automotive sign. So I'll show you the back of the package on this one. And if you're interested, you can read that. And each one of these cars has different level of detail. Some of them are better than others in terms of detail, and we'll take a look at them when we crack them open up close here in just a second. And then here is what's interesting is this one is the Murder Nova, but it's made by Johnny Lightning. Even though both of these are Midwest Streetcars Automotive endorsed pieces, the GTO is a Greenlight, the Nova is a Johnny Lightning. And so here's the package of Sean Ellington's Murder Nova. There's the piece right down there. Very cool. It doesn't say how many of these are limited to. It just says they are limited edition. I'll show you the back of this package really quick. So if you want to take a look, pause it, read it, whatever you'd like to do there. So there you go. I went ahead and cracked open all the cars to save a little time, and we'll just take a look at them up close here, give them a little camera time. And this, of course, is the Murder Nova, and is the only Johnny Lightning of the bunch. And I have a feeling that Sean Ellington may have chosen Johnny Lightning for his Nova because Johnny Lightning already has Nova tooling. In fact, if you remember, there's this piece from the Projects in Progress series, the Nova SS, which is one of my favorites, and is the exact same casting as the Murder Nova. And so the fact that they already have the tooling and the casting in their at their disposal probably made a lot of sense for the Murder Nova to be a Johnny Lightning. Now, I don't think that Greenlight has a Nova casting, but you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. One of the things I love about this is the sheen of the paint is not totally flat, but it's not gloss either. It's just completely murdered out. And of course, when we say murder, we don't mean actual murder, we just mean the all black appearance. And so you see back here on the tail the Oklahoma license plate off to the side here with the word murder on it, which just means it's all blacked out. And the tail lights are nicely painted on the back here, nice detail there, and just a mean looking stance. Now there's a couple of problems I have with this casting, just while we're on camera here to talk about them, is that a few details are missing. Now of course you do have the blacked out wheels, which look really good. From the profile side, the rear tire looks thicker than the front. When you turn it over to the base, you can kind of see that they're basically the same width. Slight difference there, but not too much difference, and I think the rear should be a little fat or slick if you ask me. The wheels are plastic on the Murder Nova. They're rubber on the other pieces that we're going to look at. Here's the base in case you're interested in the detail of that. But the thing that really bothers me in terms of detail is that we're missing the hood detail. Let me see if I can show you the card art really quick. The thing that sort of distinguishes Murder Nova is the intake, the blower. Well, I'm blanking on what this is. I always do that. But that's quite a bit of detail here on the hood with the studded details here on the side of the hood, and then the shape of the bumper is very unique too on the Nova, as well as the stance. If you notice the artwork on the back of the car, the Murder Nova sits really low and really brings out the curvature of this beautiful model. And so it doesn't really come out here on the Johnny Lightning model. It's basically just a standard Chevy Nova model. The stance is a little high, the bumper detail is not there, it's just sort of a straight plain bumper. And what is most disappointing though, I think, is the hood. I really wish they'd had carved out a piece and let that motor stick out from the hood, because what's the point of opening up and seeing a regular motor inside when we know the Murder Nova has got a sick engine in it that sticks out of the hood. So that's the one detail I wish they'd put in. But you know, when you're commissioning these cars and paying for every one of those details, sometimes that really adds up. If you're going to make 5,000 or 10,000 of these and you want to cut open the hood, there's a lot of cost involved. So I understand, but really wish that detail would be added to the Murder Nova. But otherwise, really sweet looking Nova there, and I think it looks fantastic next to this Projects in Progress piece. So those two will be buddies in the display case. Let's go on and look at the Chiefs GTO, which is just a mean looking GTO. In fact, if you saw my Instagram the other day, I posted a picture of an orange one, which I just couldn't stop looking at. If the owner had come out, he probably would have called the cops, because I just kept circling his car and taking pictures of it. But this piece right here is really nice. It's based off the big, fat, chunky GTO casting that Greenlight puts out, and really nice white, pearl white sort of finish on it. As you remember, this car used to be black until Justin changed it up and made it all white. But the thing that gets me on this is this really sweet Hoosier fat slick on the back. The wheels are really cool. As you can see, they go deep down in there with some nice detail. And then the front are just blacked out, and there's more detail here on the tires. They're slicks, rubber slicks in the back, and treaded thinner tires in the front. So there's a little bit more attention to detail on that one. You can see on the side here where it says the Crow, very nice, and then the pinstriping above the front fender. And headlights are painted in. The GTO logo you can see right there in the grille. Got the blinkers, nice hood detail. See those studded details, those little pins right there in the hood show up on the hood very nicely on the Crow here. You can see the twin turbo text there on the hood. Really nice trim details, and the interior you can sort of see the steering wheel, some of the texture in the seats and so forth. And then the 469 here on the side window. Love this Hoosier tire though. That gets me every time. The tail lights are a little bit off. Wish there had been a little bit more attention to detail on the tail lights. It sort of looks like somebody put their lipstick on when they weren't totally together, but that's okay. Nice studded details on the trunk, and the Crow logo again there with the dual exhaust. Really mean looking GTO. Another detail we're missing from the Crow is the wheelie bar on the back. See if I can show you here up close. You notice there's a special wing coming out from the back of the GTO, and then a wheelie bar in the back, which I think the Murder Nova has as well. So you're not getting that here on this piece, which I understand. You add those details, you add a lot of cost, and this certainly has more detail than the Murder Nova in terms of just the tinier details. Another thing that bothers me is that the stance is a little off. This particular casting is not balanced, so it sort of leans over to the side a little bit. So, you know, I want to try to be honest about what these castings, the good points and not so good points, but I have to tell you, I'm so excited to see the Street Outlaws. I'm willing to look over some of those other details. It's going to look good in the display case nevertheless. So let's get that one out of the way and check out the Dung Beetle. Now this one is super cool because I don't really collect Volkswagens, but I had to grab this one because of these sort of rusty, dusty details. Number one, look at those wheels. Really nice brown rust color on the wheels. Nice silver trim. Got the painted headlights and chrome bumper. You can look in the interior on this one as well, and you can sort of see the glass even looks dusty and messed up, which is really cool. Right here on the side, you sort of can see the logo, which I think is this here, the Rancho Transmissions logo. And I don't think you see the logos quite like this on the vehicle in this configuration all the time. My guess is that Rancho Transmissions probably contributed to the making of this diecast model. So, you know, you don't see sponsor logos for no reason. Check out the license plate here on the back, if my camera will focus on it. See if we can get up. There you go. I ate your dog. So nice tail lights there. Again, perfect details for the paint job here that just look fantastic. Show you the base really quick on this one. This is number 176, and as you can see, it's a classic Beetle. Nice fat slicks in the back, thinner tires, treaded tires in the front. Really cool. In fact, even if you look really close on these tires, you can see the VW logo on the wheel there on the front. Really great detail. So Greenlight, I really think, has it in terms of detail for these, but you know, you got to take what you can get, especially since each one of these cars is sort of a unique release. So here they are, all 4 releases minus the Fireball Camaro that we talked about, the farm truck, the Dung Beetle, the Chief's GTO, better known as the Crow, and Sean Ellington's Murder Nova. Very cool set. And even though Discovery Channel and Street Outlaws really couldn't work together to put out an official series, I really admire these guys for going at it on their own and releasing these pieces. They end up being a little bit more expensive, but you can still now put together your own Street Outlaws fleet. I hope we see some more of these coming out either through AZN or through Midwest Street Cars Automotive. It would be great if Greenlight and or Johnny Lightning would get the message and put out an official series like Gas Monkey or Fast and the Furious, and we would see a whole series of official Street Outlaws releases. I think that'd be fantastic. But in the meantime, I think it's fantastic that you can pick these cars up, and I hope you enjoyed checking them out up close. So keep on motoring, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.